Hi John, thank you for joining us on the podcast. We're going to have a video version today with your first time on Skype, I believe. And
Indeed.
I'll do the audio version as well to put on iTunes. So I'm quite excited to talk to you. You contacted me and sent me an email about your story. And I know you're not as per se a MAF athlete, but you're an athlete, but you do some of the MAF approach. We'll talk about that later. What's important in running, I found, is inspiration and motivation. And when I read your story, I thought, well, you can't really do a lot more than this story to inspire you and to motivate you. And you've got one of the best excuses to run, really.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself to start, and then we'll go on to your story?
Well, running wise, I ran a bit at school, and then, like a lot of people, I think going out with friends and drinking sort of took over. I ended up playing football quite a bit. And then didn't do any running till the kids came along. And we used to live in a village called Llandoged, up in the hills above Llanrwst, the Conwy Valley. And we used to always help out with the race there. And one year, my daughter, who must have been about 3 at the time, said, "Dad, can you do this race?" And I said, "Well, I'm not sure, but I'll give it a go next year." So that was back in 2005, I think.
Yeah.
I ended up doing that. I got a cheap treadmill, put it in the garage.
Yeah.
When the kids went to bed, I'd go on it to get myself slowly fit, and I did the race in 2006, and I've been running ever since, really.
Oh, really? That's really good. Is that like a fair race when you say
no?
It's
on road.
Oh yeah.
But it's 12.5k, and to say it's challenging is probably an understatement. It's very hilly. It's ideal training for the Snowdon Marathon for anyone that is doing the Snowdon Marathon. The race is actually this Sunday. So.
Are you doing it?
Well, I've not run for about 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I've run the last 12, so I want to keep the streak going, and I really want to do it. I'll probably try running tomorrow, and if everything goes okay, then I'll run on Sunday, and hopefully that will give me a bit of a boost to the Snowdon Marathon.
Yeah, definitely. I'm doing a half marathon on Saturday in Abersoch as part of my training.
Right.
So we'll see, because it's one thing to train and one thing to train in race conditions, I think.
It is. I think you need to get yourself out of the comfort zone time to time, and whilst running on my own, I do that occasionally. The best way is by doing a race. Well, I've not raced since last year's Snowdon Marathon, so it will be the first race I've done this year. So I'm a bit nervous, but I'm not going to go too hard in the race. I'll play.
Oh no!
Just as long as I get round comfortably with no niggles, then I'll be happy.
That's exactly my aim with the half marathon. I mean, we've only got 7 weeks on the Snowdonia Marathon, so it's no time to get injured. Well, it's on my mind, so I hope it's on everyone's mind. So when you done that race, and you've done it since, and then you decided to do a bit more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I did the race in 2006, and basically after the race, it went a lot better than I thought it would do. I wasn't sure how it would go. I enjoyed it, and I said to my wife in the evening, I said, "You know what? I want to do a marathon. Having done that, I really want to do a marathon, and I want to do our local one, Snowdonia." I think she thought I was having like a midlife crisis. I remember doing the Snowdon Marathon and watching the Snowdon Marathon on S4C, and my dad ran the Snowdon Marathon back in 1994, I think it was.
All right.
And I ran the last few miles with him just to help him out.
Yeah.
And since seeing on S4C every year, taking up running, I thought, no, I'm going to do it next year. So after the 2006 race, I pretty much ditched the treadmill, got myself a Garmin, and I trained for the 2007 race.
All right, that's pretty much what I did. My wife thinks I'm crazy too, but
well, yes. It's having said that, I mean, for me, it's my therapy. It's cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, definitely.
You put on your pair of trainers, head out the door, and feel so much better for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, sometimes when you go up the hills, it can be a bit hard, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it makes you mentally stronger, I think, them hills. I quite enjoy the hills because you have to like challenge yourself, not so much physically but more mentally. Why am I doing this?
I find it rewarding as well when you see the scenery we have in North Wales in particular. Running up the hills, you can sort of look back and have a little break and admire the scenery. So
definitely.
It's all part of the enjoyment of running.
Yeah, definitely. So then you've done the Snowdonia Marathon. What was your first time when you did the first time? What did you finish in?
2007 was the first year I did it. I'd not run anything further than, well, I've not raced anything more than 10 miles before then, and I'd not done as much long runs as I should have done. So on the day, it was a bit of a baptism of fire and a lesson on how not to train and run your first marathon. I finished in just under 3 hours 20. I think it's 3:17, 3:19.
Wow, with no training.
But I was a bit. I got a bit carried away going up the Llanberis Pass. I was running with looking. There's a picture of me going about somewhere where I'm running. One side is the chap wearing number 1, and the other side of me is the chap wearing number 2. The chaps that ran and finished first and second the previous year.
All right.
So when I got to 10 miles, and I realised that I'd gone off too quick, but the damage had been done. So the last 10 miles was it was a challenge.
Yeah.
But I was determined to go back and make amends.
Yeah. And so you did.
Yeah, I did it in 2008, and that year, what happened? My wife answered the phone one evening, and it was someone from S4 or the TV company linked with S4C that did the program, and she asked whether I would want to be followed and interviewed before and during the race. I wasn't in at the time, and my wife said, I'm sure he would. So I ended up having to do an interview before the race.
Yeah.
And it came to my office a couple of weeks before, and I was interviewed for S4C, and they followed me. I wore a tracker on the day, and then I was interviewed after the race. And a couple of times when I was running on the course, I had the TV camera sort of next to me, which is quite daunting. But that side, and being interviewed in Welsh, was probably more stressful and difficult than the race itself that year. But
yeah.
I still, it was. I remember the year because the weather was atrocious, and I understand. I think they came close to actually abandoning the race or cancelling it beforehand.
Yeah.
I remember going up the last climb, and a tree had actually blown down not long since before we came to it, so we had to sort of climb over the tree before getting to the top. So it was interesting conditions, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
It sounds more like it was a tough mudder than a marathon.
It was with the obstacles, I didn't expect those. It added to the enjoyment, and it's one of the things that makes Snowdonia Marathon such a great race.
Yeah, definitely. It's unpredictable, I think. I know I've reiki the whole route. I know the place, I know where we're going, but I know anything can happen on the day, and
I think weather-wise, in October, I think you just got to expect that it can. I think one year it started off sunny, we had then rain, hail, heavy winds. It's all part and parcel. It makes it such a great event.
Due for motivation, I don't know if that weather forecast is working for my motivation right now.
It's the same for everybody. And it's to be honest, it's the spectators I feel sorry for the weather conditions, because they're on the sideline cheering us on, and the marshals handing out drinks and
definitely.
Gels and
I've done that side as a marshal, and it is pretty tough. I mean, you have to recognize the hard work of the runners, but the whole marshalling organization around of an event is pretty
very much so.
Crazy.
And the marshals and the supporters of the Snowdon Marathon are fantastic. I think it's one of the things that makes it such a great race, and the people that organise it, they care for the runners, and it's just such a great event.
That's what I heard.
It sells out every year now. At midnight, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, it's all sold out. So I think that just speaks volumes of the stature of the race. Really.
Definitely. So then, how many times have you done it by now?
Good question. Well, this year it'd be my 11th. Yeah, last year was my 10th, so this year my 11th consecutive.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
That's why. I mean, I whilst I've not done as much running this year, I don't want to miss the race. I just enjoy it so much, and even if I just sort of jog round without being anywhere as near as quick as I have been in the past, I don't mind that. I just want to sort of do the event, really.
Well, it's alright. If you fall behind, I'll probably be behind you.
Well, as long as you give me some of the bars that I've seen you be making.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. I think I'll be pretty slow. It'll be my first marathon in the mountains. I don't know what to expect. I'll be happy with like 4 hours. I'll be very happy.
I think you've wrecked the race. I think that's more than a lot of people do. I think a lot of people rock up on the day that haven't done it before. They know it's going to be tough, but until you see it and do it,
I have to say, I've been one of them people for this half marathon coming. I didn't go. It's where I work and that, but I don't exactly know which road we're taking. So I'm keeping the element of surprise. But for the marathon, I haven't been silly. I did recce, so I know what's coming for me. Because I think if you don't,
the hill. I think I said to you before that the hill out of Beddgelert at halfway.
Yeah.
It can catch a lot of people out.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a long drag.
Yeah.
It's quite open and can be windy, and it goes on for about maybe a mile, 2 miles.
Yeah.
I know that catches a lot of people out. But, particularly being open as well with the wind.
I was worried about the Weinval one. But I've done it, and it's not that bad if before it you've done the race well, I think.
Yeah.
I found tricky is Penny Pass, because you could easily go too fast there, then too fast down to Beddgelert, and then have nothing left.
Well, I can say from the first year I did it, if you do that, then you will blow up. You just need to do the first, I say first half, as comfortably as possible.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they worry about the Weinval climb, and it is tough. But I think at that stage, I mean, a lot of people do tend to sort of run going up there.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people actually walk up there quicker than people that try running up there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So it's trying to sort of keep your legs moving. You don't want to be stopping.
Yeah.
I've adopted run-walk strategy up there.
All right. Yeah.
In previous years, and it works. It's worked for me in the past.
Yeah.
It is tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that makes it a great race.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Now, and I think in your third one, I think it was your third one. you almost didn't make it there. Didn't you have some problem?
Yeah, I think in 2009, doing the village race in Llanfairpwll, a few days beforehand, I'd had a how would I put it, a medical procedure that required emptying out my system.
Right.
And I think on the day, it was quite a warm day, and if it had been a marathon, then I wouldn't have had the procedure leading up to the race. But with it only being a 12.5k race,
Yeah.
I did the race, and with about I don't remember the last half a mile.
Right.
Apparently, I was weaving all over the road, and I collapsed at the finish. And I had oxygen, and an ambulance was called, and it was quite a worrying time for my wife and kids were actually watching at the time.
Oh dear.
But I'd had a hypoglycemic attack. I
Oh,
think my
right.
blood sugar had gone through the floor.
Yeah.
And after I'd been administered the gel,
Yeah.
I soon came round, and it was a lesson on getting, you respecting the race, any
Yeah.
race, and being properly fueled and nutritionally
Yeah.
up for it. And obviously, it was a lesson learned the hard way. Thankfully, I've had no issues since nutrition wise. So,
Yeah.
but yes, I think on the back of that race, on collapsing, I actually contemplated not running again.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, to be fair to my wife, I think she realised how much I enjoyed the running. And when it came to the Snowdon Marathon, someone contacted me out of the blue and said, if you're looking to take it a bit easier, I'd like, if you could help pace me, because she was actually, I think, hoping for one of the top lady spots.
Yeah.
I think she finished, second or third the previous year, and she was hoping to do even better.
Yeah.
In that year's race. So I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, that's actually a good way of making sure I don't run too hard, too fast, and helping someone out in the race. Yeah, something different. And I must admit, I did enjoy it. Apart from we were followed by the cameras quite a bit, because she was in the top two, I think, ladies most of the race. Well, I think she finished, third or fourth in the end. But it was an
pretty good. Yeah, and so then so you had no problem after when you did this one. You had no problem, like health problem.
I realised I'd spoken to a few people about what had happened at the Llanfairpwll race, and I knew it was my fault, thinking back, and I just made sure that I was properly fueled before any other race that I did thereafter. So now I've had no problems fueling, and I always take drinks during the race and energy bars and gels. So I've had no problems since. I know what works for me. I know what doesn't work for me.
That's what's important.
Some gels I've used in the past, I've not liked. Others suit me fine. So I've had no problems since.
Oh, that's good. So after that, you had a special goal, I think, which was going under the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, I got close. I did 3 hours 6 in 2008, and my running was improving. I was being a bit more competitive.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have targets.
Yeah, definitely.
Without that are achievable.
Mine is to finish it.
Well, I think for my first one, I had no targets at all.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps if I had a target of getting round in 3 hours 15, I'd have run it more sensibly. But I just turned up on the day and I just ran.
Yeah.
Rather than having a sensible, right, I've only done this kind of training.
Yeah.
It's my first marathon. I should take it a bit easy for the first 20 miles. and see how it goes. So rather than do that in my first year, I ran with the leaders till about mile 10, and then realised I'd been a silly boy and paid for it in the last half of the race. So yes, I got the bit in my teeth that I wanted to train a bit harder, a bit more sensibly, and to go sub 3 was my goal.
And did you make it?
Yes.
You did.
I think in 2010 I missed out on sub 3.
Yeah.
But I think in 2011 I think I went 2 hours 58. I think in 2011.
That's really good.
So yes, I was pleased with that, and
yeah. I bet you were. I would be.
I think when you do the training,
yeah, definitely.
I train specifically. I'd go around the course, run in the hills. I'd do the long runs. I think with marathons, I think if you do the training, proper training, and you approach race day, and you run in accordance with how you train, you get what you deserve.
What was your training like? Because obviously to break the barrier of 3, you had to up the training somehow, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I can't go off this year because I really haven't done that much this year, but I'd say leading up to previous marathons, Snowdon marathons, I tried to get maybe 50 miles a week if I can.
All right.
And basically the long run would be the key run.
Yeah.
Sunday morning for me, I'd get up at sort of 6 in the morning with the kids and the wife still in bed, and I'd go out for up to about 3 hours.
All right.
For Snowdon Marathon, that long run would be in the hills.
Yeah.
I'd start off every long run, quite easy, nice and slow and easy. But perhaps in the latter stages of the long runs, I'd maybe pick up the pace, so I'm getting close to the target marathon pace.
Yeah.
And that would be my key weekly run, would be the long run. And then during the week, I'd go out maybe 4 or 5 times, 5-6 times, maybe do one harder run during the week.
Yeah.
But the rest of the runs would be nice and easy, generally going off the heart rate.
Yeah.
Sort of like almost like the MAF approach in terms of the you're going off the. It probably equates to the MAF approach with
it's what you call recovery run, I think.
Yeah, just to keep, so there'd be nice recovery runs.
Yeah.
So that would be my weekly sort of. It wouldn't be a plan as such. I mean, the only run that I would try and do every week without fail would be the long run.
Yeah.
And then the rest would sort of fit in with work, family, other things. So I didn't have a set plan as such.
I like when you say for your long run, you told me you go for 3 hours, not for such and such mileage.
Not really. I mean, the 3 hours would generally equate at the time when I was sort of training quite hard. I'd be going maybe for 20 to 23 miles.
Yeah, but with MAF, that's what we do. We train on time, not mileage. So it's time on your legs rather than how far you go.
I think time on feet's more important.
Yeah.
Or as important as the miles.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do the long runs, too hard, too quick.
Yeah.
As a result, pick up injuries, become tired. I just find from my experience, the long run should be starting off nice and easy.
Yeah.
And then perhaps increase the pace a little bit in the latter stage of the long run.
Yeah, well, that's what we do in MAF method. Like, at first to build your base, you have to go at slow heart rate all the time. But then once that's built up and you get to a plateau, you start doing your slow run, and then the end of your run, you'd go just above your maximum heart rate, just to push yourself to get close to your race pace, to get out of your comfort zone. And it sounds a bit like what you've done with your long run, really.
I think so, but at the same time, if you've got a target of, say, 3.5 hours, then you need to be doing runs at your target marathon pace.
Yeah.
I think if you run the same pace all the time, you're not necessarily going to get any quicker.
No, definitely.
Obviously, you're going to be able to run that distance at that pace.
Yeah.
But not the quicker, not your target marathon pace.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think it's important to get your body, your legs used to running at your target marathon pace if you have got a target in mind.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think you told me that then you slow down a little bit in 2013, I think, or?
Yeah, I mean, I probably didn't do the training.
Yeah.
So again, if you don't do the training, then you're not going to go, for example, sub 3 in any marathon.
Yeah.
Unless you are, one of the top elite runners. But
yeah. Unless you're more thorough.
For most club runners like myself, I think if you don't do the training, then having going out at 3-hour pace, you can't do it.
No.
It will catch up with you, and you will suffer in the marathon, and you won't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was, I think, a year or two where I've not done as much training. So I think in 2012, perhaps 2013, I probably didn't run it as quick as I had done previously. But again, that was not having done the training.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think maybe one year I picked up a slight niggle, and the training I'd not done as much, and as a result, I didn't get perhaps the time I would have done in previous years.
Yeah. And then I think was in 2014. I think you said that was your most memorable race. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, my dad had been poorly for a while, and he passed away. He died in June of that year.
All right.
And in fact, the day before he died, I did a half marathon because I knew he was very poorly. I did a half marathon in Coed-y-Brenin.
All right.
And that was a way of me sort of dealing with things. I was able to sort of go out, and it was my sort of therapy.
Yeah.
But I mean, after he died, I sort of threw myself. I did a lot more running, and that was sort of a way of me
to deal with it.
Having run in the past, he'd done the London Marathon a few times.
Yeah.
And I say he did the Snowdonia Marathon in '94.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, on the back of that, I obviously entered Snowdon Marathon again for 2014. The organiser of the Snowdonia Marathon contacted me out of the blue and said, sorry to hear about your dad, John. I've just checked up the results from 1994. Was your dad's name David Ford? And I said, yes. He says, oh, well, I've got his details from that year's race. I can see that he wore race number 341. Would you like that race number this year? So, which for me was it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was such a nice touch from an organiser of a race to offer me that. So yeah, I think on the back of that, I trained really hard for the race. I was probably going to be doing 60, maybe 70 miles a week at one point.
That's a lot.
And doing some long runs in the hills with a club mate. We'd go around the parts of the course together at a decent pace. And on the day itself, I don't remember much about the race.
All right.
It was quite emotional. I was actually wearing his running vest.
All right. His original one that he wore. Yeah.
So I had his running vest and his numbers. So it was quite an emotional day.
Yeah.
It was tough. I mean, I was running I was probably in the best shape I've ever been, and till about mile 20, I was running in third place.
Oh wow!
and then I started feeling a pain in my calf, and going up the Weinbauer climb, and just before the Weinbauer climb, I was getting serious cramps, and I was having to stop and stretch and walk, and I've never been in so much pain before. But obviously, I was determined because
of
special
course.
race for me. I was determined to finish. So, well, basically, the last 5 miles, I was in so much pain, and I ended up collapsing at the finish.
Oh dear.
Which my legs just gave way. But it was all it was. It was the calves were just, my right calf in particular was just cramping up. But I found out subsequently. I changed footwear in about the month leading up to the race.
Oh right.
I'd been recommended Adidas boots, and I'd never worn them before, and I got used to them. I seem to have no problems, but apparently, speaking to a few people since, they weren't the right kind of shoe for my feet. And as a result, they felt that the calf problem that I had on the day and had for about 6 months afterwards was down to the choice of footwear. So I only got them because, well, one, they were recommended, and two, they were in our family's football team colours. So it was part of the trying to make it a special day. I go the whole hog and get these special trainers, but with hindsight, I should have stuck to what I'd always worn in the past. But hey ho, you learn by your mistakes. I guess.
Well, you still finished it.
I finished it, and I doubt. I'm sure I will never. I think I finished in 2 hours 50.
You still did under 3 hours, which is pretty good.
I don't think I'll ever beat the time from that year. So
so that was your best time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Even for you had your calf problem.
I probably, to be fair, I probably only lost maybe a few minutes. I was running quite well with a chap that finished third. And I don't know, but hopefully I'd have thought the way I was running, I'd have at least run with him to the finish. So I think he finished in 2:47, I think it was.
Oh wow! So that's not much.
Lose it a huge amount of time.
So. Well, you still won your age category, is that right?
Yes, I've been lucky to win that a couple of times.
So big victory on a special day. So I think that was quite
nice. It was nice. It was nice, but particularly my family were there at the finish as well. And the club mate I trained with as well, he finished well in his category. And it was a special day, but I don't think I'll get close to that time. Well, certainly not this year anyway. But
that's pretty good. So then you did a couple more after that, the last 2 years, and you said it wasn't as good, time-wise. I guess.
After the 2014 race, I struggled for quite a while with the calf. And I ended up being prescribed orthotics, and I wore those for the 2015 race, and I got round okay. But last year, my running I wasn't feeling I was running that comfortably. It just didn't feel quite right. And basically, I've seen a couple of people since, and I've been advised to throw away the orthotics. And apparently they probably thrown. Well, they think that my gait has been thrown all over the place by the orthotics. But it was at the time. That was what I was advised, and they seemed to sort out the calf issue. Initially, but I think the last year and a half, I've just not been able to run that comfortably. So, which is where I am at now, and I ditched the orthotics. But I probably should have walked without orthotics for a while before running again. And I think maybe I've done too much running too quickly after ditching orthotics. So I think I just need to sort of manage that, and by resting it for the last month or so, I'm hoping that I'll be able to sort of get my natural running gait back again and run comfortably.
Do you do any cross training while you're not running?
No, I must admit I probably should do, but apart from long walks with the dog, that's about it really.
Yeah.
I've always stretched the since the calf issue first cropped up. I've always tried to do stretches with the calf, just and roll, on a foam roller as well.
Yeah.
But, no, I've not been on the bike or one of these cross trainers, anything like that.
Oh no, I meant like cycling, swimming, core and strength, that kind of thing.
No, nothing like that. To say, it's long walks with the dog, and just that really. But it's been a bit frustrating. But I've never really been a prolific racer. So it hasn't been as difficult as it would be for, I guess, a lot of other runners. Who do races on a regular basis. For me, as long as I can do the Llandoged race each year in Snowdonia, then I'll be quite happy. But
sounds good.
Just still a bit nervous for Sunday, but so hopefully I'll get around okay.
Yeah. It's going to be my first Snowdonia marathon this year. Have you got any advice for me of what to do and what not to do? Well, I mean, ultimately, in terms of the actual race itself, don't go off too quick. Yeah.
Just steady pace. I think a lot of people do go off too quick, and the second half they're overtaken by runner after runner after runner, and they find it, I would say, soul destroying. I think if you do start off nice and easy, then you'll find out in the second half you'll be running past runners that have gone off too quick.
Yeah.
So I used to always have the mantra in the last few years when I've been training hard for marathons: get to 20 miles as comfortably as possible, and then basically run as if you've stolen something. and as if you're running away from someone. Just the last 6 miles, then pick up the pace. But try and get to half 20 miles as comfortably as possible.
Yeah.
And at the pace that you're comfortable with. And really just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I say the atmosphere on the course is fantastic.
I mean, I'm really excited about it. I'm a bit worried, but it'll be crazy not to be worried, because you've got to respect that particular route.
Yeah.
It's the mountains.
I think any marathon, it has to be respected. But if you've done the training for it, then I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just making sure that on the day you don't get carried away with yourself.
Yeah.
And just run, fairly steady. And going at the Llanberis Pass, it's not particularly steep. You just need to get into a route, a nice
rhythm. Yeah.
I think, and then on the downhill bit after that, again, you don't want to be running too hard. But at the same time, I don't think you want to be running too slow. I think you need to let gravity be your friend.
Yeah.
Stretch out the legs a little bit, and just try and get down quite comfortably.
Yeah.
And then I say that the Bev Gaelic climb, again, that's a steady one that catches a lot of people out.
Yeah.
But again, you just need to get into a nice rhythm going up that. And then when you get to Weinbauer, it's just
let it out.
you hitting the hill, and it is tough. But
to be fair, I love that hill, and the top of the mountain in Weinbauer is just amazing.
It is. I think the only thing in recent years, because it's been very wet, you go from right at the top. It goes from tarmac to rough track.
Yeah, just after you pass that little car park, isn't it? That's where it all changed.
And then on the downhill section, with it being on grass,
it
can be very wet.
Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of runners fall over there and take a tumble, particularly when they're so tired.
When I went to Reiki,
careful on that descent.
When I went to Reiki, I did end up on my behind. I didn't slip.
A lot of runners do.
Yeah.
A lot of runners do. But and then once you get off the grass bit and you hit the road,
yeah,
your legs are just on fire.
yeah, but it's the end, isn't it?
Taken,
yeah,
and you're still, having done 20, 24, 25 miles.
Yeah,
it's your legs are crying out.
Yeah,
To
definitely.
the finish line.
Yeah, that last bit is almost the easiest one I found on any race. It's almost you're not racing it anymore. It's your body's taking over, and
the last bit on tarmac that you're going downhill, it is still tough because it's the pounding on your quads.
Yeah,
and it is quite hard, but particularly when you can hear the finish line and the crowds cheering.
Yeah,
and it's, you're not far, but it's still quite tough, that last bit.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! Well, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Well, I'd think so, because with the MAF method, you get used to having to hold yourself to pace yourself, because obviously you have to pace yourself under your maximum heart rate. So I think that psychologically is going to help me not to go too fast, and not, because you have to get used to be comfortable, you more aware of your body and your breathing. So I think that is what's going to help me a lot to do the marathon.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, because I think a lot of people do take it,
go
off too quick, and then they'll run the Llanberis Pass too hard, and as a result, they'll slow down in the last half of the race.
Yeah.
So I think by pacing it, I think you'll find that you'll end up passing quite a lot of people in the second half, and I think that will give you a nice little boost during the race.
It's kind of like the story I read to my children at night, the turtle and the hare, isn't it?
Indeed, yes, I can understand that.
Yeah. You told me you're not, as per se, a MAF athlete, but you do adopt some of it.
No, I think when I picked up the niggle early on this year, I thought that the best way to get back into it would be to get the heart monitor out again, and just do easy running. And then when I was looking into it, I just came across an article on the MAF approach, and for the first sort of month or two after I started running again, back in April, May, I was going off the heart rate, and all my runs were at my MAF level.
Yeah.
You're going off the MAF formula. I went off that, and that broadly equated to what my easy runs used to be when I was marathon training. They would be at a set. It'd be about 140 beats per minute for me. Was and that sort of equated to the MAF formula as well. So basically, when I just to build up the miles again, I wasn't going on the hills, and I was just trying to build up that mileage base again.
Yeah.
And I just found it makes sense. It just makes to use the heart rate to monitor, and also to look back on. You can see the progress as you get quicker.
Yeah, definitely.
So when I first started, I must admit it was a bit of a chore at times to ease back. So I could see the heart rate creeping, and you've got to ease back.
Yeah, I know.
And at times it did feel quite uncomfortable,
almost frustrating,
weird. Going just holding yourself back to keep that heart rate at that level.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to ensure that you do, these easy runs easy. Your heart rate, I don't think, lies. Unless you get a blip up with a connection.
Well, the thing is, but I've noticed for me is a lot of things affect your heart rate anyway. If you don't sleep enough, if you have stress in you, we all get stressed with family, work, and whatever happens in our life. I think that affects it, and you could have a tendency to just blow off steam, go too fast, injure yourself, but your body's telling you, hold on, you're under a lot of strain, so take it easy.
Yeah, no, it's and I say you can sort of within a month I could see going off that heart rate, that my average pace for the runs were 30 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
So you can sort of see it monitor. You can see from the monitor that the progress that you are getting fitter. So that for me was I thought that was a sensible way to get back into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when I was told about the because I still wasn't running particularly comfortably.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like as I used to be. And then when I was advised about ditching the orthotics, I was still running, mainly off the heart rate.
Yeah.
It's then I started to sort of feel the around the Achilles and the bottom, around just below my calf. I was getting a bit of discomfort. So that's when, as I say, I just sort of stopped running for a bit, done lots of walking and iced the area.
Yeah.
I took a bit of a couple of ibuprofen in the early days and seen the physio.
Yeah.
But just really trying to sort of rest it and then hopefully try it out this week before the race on Sunday. So
hopefully it'll be all good.
Certainly the MAF heart rate approach I think is I can really see
the benefits of it.
Absolutely, yeah, and it makes sense. I think a lot of people do have historically run too quickly during the week, and as a result, come race day, will be too tired, and if they're racing the same pace all the time too hard, they pick up injuries, niggles, and well, for me, I don't think you'd enjoy your running as much.
No,
so
definitely.
As long as you can hold yourself back and maintain that heart rate, and you don't mind running at that pace.
No, I
enjoy
think
it.
at the beginning it's very hard, because I remember when I started, I thought, it's so slow, I'm not improving, and then I couldn't see a little difference on my math test every month, but I thought, this is not working and it's getting boring. And then I did a couple of races, and every race I was beating my PRs, my personal records, in like 5Ks, 10Ks times. I was like smashing it every single time by like minutes. And I was like, hold on.
I think it's just having that patience to stick with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I've read quite a bit about it. Obviously, I was interested when I first saw your podcast, and I've listened to that as well.
Yeah.
And that's sort of got me more, for when I start running again in earnest. Now I'm going to give it a good go, I think.
That's good. So you
maybe not so much on the nutritional side, but certainly on the heart rate side. I mean, I have actually, since your podcast on the nutrition on cutting out the carbs, I have seriously reduced my pasta and bread intake. But
I suppose it's not. It's a good combination together, because then eventually you get fat adapted, so you don't need as much nutrition during a race. But it sounds like your nutrition, since you've had your problem, when you had your attack, and since then you see.
Yeah, certainly on the heart rate side. I mean, I have actually, since your podcast on the nutrition on cutting out the carbs, I have seriously reduced my pasta and bread intake. But
I suppose it's not. It's a good combination together, because then eventually you get fat adapted, so you don't need as much nutrition during a race. But it sounds like your nutrition, since you've had your problem, when you had your attack, and since then you see. So, as every podcast, new podcast anyway, we've had a technical problem. The camera stopped just at the end, and John was just telling me then that the best advice he can give to runners is don't try something new during your race. So make sure you try all your nutrition before, and that you shouldn't try new gel, new things. If you're not sure of what's going to be there, bring your own. And that was practically the end of the interview. Then he wished me good luck for the marathon, wished him good luck for his races, and hopefully we'll meet at the start line. So thank you for listening to me and John, and I hope his story will inspire you and motivate you. And he had a good point towards the end about how MAF can help you with your aerobic base, with your recovery. So there you go. Next episode will be next week, and I've got another guest lined up. This time it'll be an ultra runner that is adapting the low carb high fat diet, and he's been eating my bagels last weekend when he did the Snowdonia Ultra 50. So it'd be interesting to see what he thought of them and to see what he's got to say about the MAF method, training and nutrition. He's very passionate about it, just like I am. So I think it'll be an interesting story to listen to. Right, have a nice week. Happy running. Bye. So that's it for us this week. Episode 4 finished. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and I'll look forward to next week with a special guest. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or any requests of topics you want me to talk about, just message me on the Facebook page or email at mafuk@hotmail.com. Okay, thank you, have a good week, happy running.